Namaste, namaste, one and all present here. We again have gathered here today to witness Cubs in Conversation episode 4. I would like to extend my hearty welcome to our beloved Chairman Sir, Dr. M. Srinivasan, our Executive Director, Survey Sir, our Principal Ma'am, Nandini Bhatt, all our mentors and our amazing Gear Cubs. Our today's participants are of Shreyakar, J. Jitendra, Tanvi Doshi, Medha Sanjay, Ushni Samadar, and Monil Lotikar. I request each one of you to keep your cameras on throughout the session. And before we start, a few ground rules for the audience. I request the audience to kindly mute yourself during the session. Towards the end of the session, once we open for Q&A, all of you will be given a chance to interact and ask questions to our participants. And in order to do so, you need to raise your hand or type out your questions in the chat box. Now, without wasting much of time, I request Chairman Sir to start the session, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Sudeshna ma'am, and everyone here. First and foremost, it would have been nice to meet face to face, but I think we have a very unique chance to do virtual. That's okay. There is a saying that you should never hesitate to accept reality. That's how you overcome that. With that, we'll come to our conversation. I see 4 faces. Only 4 are there, Sudeshna ma'am?
No, sir. We have 6 of the participants. I can see Jay, Tanvi, Ushnesh, Medha, and Shreya. Monil, I request you to switch on your camera.
I don't see.
Ma'am, can you see me because I've on it?
Oh, Monil, no, I'm not able to see.
Monil is there only audio. Okay,
sir,
one more.
Ushnesh, sir, are you able to see him?
No.
Ushnesh, can you talk, beta?
Okay, I got it now. Okay. Monil is doing a good stunt. He's coming horizontal. Okay. Now, this is a conversation. Please remember that. Conversation means all of us talk, but with the decorum of a conversation. You can raise your hands and talk, interrupt anytime, and we'll carry on with that. The whole idea of this Cubs in Conversation is to let you talk about what you have been thinking. Many times, we have a lot of things going on in our head, and we do not discuss that with anybody. Maybe because we don't get a chance. Maybe because we are not very sure it would be appreciated. Okay? So what we would do, we would discuss things without hesitation, but you know how we should discuss. I have 2 points. One is, what is your idea as to how the future is going to be different from what it is today when you come to work because of this pandemic? Meaning, how the world would have changed for you, because you may be the first batch of children taking up degree courses and taking up jobs, taking up something on your own. The world is different now. When we say the cases are becoming almost 3 times every week right now in Bangalore, it is frightening. So, as of now, we have declared cases of 40,000, but I think it will be more than 1 lakh per day, because there are a lot of home testing and they are not declaring. We should not get frightened by that. We should understand the reality and behave accordingly. That's all. Don't go out. Be very careful. Avoid anything that comes from outside. Okay. With that, what do you think would be the world let's say in the next 5 years, because of the pandemic now, because you'll be coming to work in the next 3 to 5 years. Okay? What is going on in your mind? Are you worried? Or are you refiguring the future? Are you changing your strategies? Or are you changing your subjects of study? Okay? What is going on in your mind? Or are you having some questions unanswered? Let's see them first. Anybody can go. This is a small group of 5 or 6. So you can just raise your hand and go ahead. If nobody, hey, Ashreya, go ahead.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
So, when the pandemic first started out in 2020, first it was supposed to happen for only a few months, because I remember when we all sat at home in March and April, we thought we'd go back to school in June or July, things would settle down, but no, it went on for a year. And again in 2021, we thought things would get fine, but no, it didn't. And even in 2022, it doesn't seem like it's going to get any better. So, actually, honestly, what I was thinking was I would get a chance to go to college, like physically. And I was really excited for this year. Maybe because I just wanted to have the whole college experience and everything. But right now, I really don't think that's going to happen. And but I'm internally, maybe I'm a little scared of it, but I'm trying hard not to, because it's important for us to now adapt to it, because it seems like it's going to be this way for a long, long time. So, I mean, the way trips used to be for us, a once in a while thing, going out of the house has become like that for us. But I think we just need to find our own happiness in it. Because, like, honestly, for me, going to school was amazing because I had my friends to share my thoughts and my stress with. But online, all of it just piled up. So now I think to keep myself happy, I probably need to have frequent calls with my friends and, like, just to talk about things. I think that's a little relaxing. Throughout the pandemic, that's what I find my peace in right now. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? Yeah, somebody else raise hand. Yeah, yes, Unish. Ushnish?
Yes, sir. So first of all, I completely agree with Shreya on that. And I think in the coming years, I think we all will be much more, of course, we are already adapted to the whole COVID situation and how to study online and etc. and stay at home. But in the coming years, when the things like settle down, I think rehabilitating and going back to on offline, doing everything like going to college or whoever is doing their jobs, going to jobs, it's going to take a while since we're already so adapted over the past 2 years over this. So it's not going to be easy, but also I think it's going to be a good and steady progress. And also since after this COVID situation, our economy has already dipped. While by the time that we all get into jobs in the next 4 years, I think we're going to have a excess of jobs since we all have to like pick up the economy for our country. So I think that's going to be a very good opportunity for our year and our generation. So we will already be a lot more. We have a lot more opportunities to do different things in our lives. So that's what I think.
I'm happy that you brought the word our economy. That's what we need to look at. What new opportunities are going to come? What new challenges are going to come? Prepare to face the challenges. Okay, yes, Medha.
Yes, sir. So I recently heard about this thing called the metaverse. So apparently that's what is going to be our future. So it's basically like you're living your whole life on an online platform, and you can buy land and everything online. So I've heard about it. I don't know much in detail, but I think that's where our future is going to go if this pandemic continues. Like everything, there are also like games where you assume a character and you live your life online. So I think it's going to be a little like that. But I think that will increase like efficiency of our work also, because like for the past 2 years, I've gotten a lot of time to spend on my, studies and my entrance preparation and all of that. So I think having something online, cutting off travel time, cutting off like simply talking with people and all, you'll get a lot more time to focus on yourself and your work.
Okay, yeah. We are going to be more digitally involved, and that's not bad. But digitally stuck would be bad. Okay. Yes. Jay or Manil or Tanvi?
Yeah, namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Yeah, so like with the COVID situation, what Shreya said is very true. Like in 2020, we all thought maybe it'll take 2-3 years, 2-3 months, and then we can come back to normal. We can go traveling, we can go to school, whatnot. And that didn't happen. 2021, same thing happened. And 2022, also there are so many cases. And like in the future, I see that wearing masks will become like the new norm, even if there is no disease like to be spread. It's like it'll stop the outbreak, and it's better stop it early than late. And yeah, the future, I feel like it'll work out in the end, because I feel it'll slowly like become, like as I said, the wearing masks will become a new norm. Everything else we're doing, like online school, online work, will become a new norm. So yeah, I feel like it'll work out.
Okay, Jay. I think there are so many new things that come in, but we need not be worried about it. There'll be no many new norms, because have you met anybody who were part of the World War I or II? No, no.
I've seen videos,
Have-
but not really.
Have you met a person? I'm asking.
No, sir.
It will be so grand, so interesting to meet a person. But you will have the same status in the future. People will ask you, oh, you were through the pandemic. Can you tell me something? So you'll have a chance throughout life to be unique individuals, going to school and then going to even college. So you are part of history, and you have got a very dominant role. Yes, Tanvi, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, and I think that like the generation coming out of this pandemic, one thing that's going to be different is I think we're going to be more grateful people, because we've had stuff and then it's been taken away, and then we're going to get it back. And that time I think we're really going to cherish every moment of it. And another thing I think that's going to be different is like usually when people go to college and they start their first job, people kind of neglect their health, and like people are really into what they're doing. But I think for us, because of seeing how a pandemic can affect people's health, I think we're going to be more like health conscious individuals. We're going to take care of ourselves also. So I think those two things are going to be different.
Yes, that is true. Very true. Monil?
I just think a lot of the things will just move digitally online, and then I think in maybe 5-6 years time we might move back to the world before 2020.
Okay,
I
that is
think they'll be
the future.
change the minds of people regarding health. There'll be a lot more health conscious, and I think people also make more investment in the health because they wouldn't want something like this shutting down the world.
Okay. So that's how we are at present. But my take on the future would be there will be certain areas which would be accelerated, like Monil said, the health area. And even the education may change its modality. The need for education would increase, but the way we are going to learn may change. And that may change the whole world. Right now, when we are in the thick of globalization, this came in. Luckily, we have the digital devices to connect us. But I think in the future, we'll learn how to make use of these devices more wisely. Okay? Now, the important point I want to discuss with you people today is how do thinkers, philosophers, intelligent people, leaders look at the world in the future? Okay? Because that's how we can prepare ourselves. Now, I want to make one point, and then I want your reaction, then we'll go to the details. The point is, as I see, people are predicting that we would be intelligent and we would be successful if we move towards being more human, you mark my words, if we move towards being more human, we are likely to be successful. We are likely to be happy. This also means that we were not very much towards being human all these days. There are people writing about it. There are people shouting out about it. There are people thinking about it. Now, do you all agree? You can tell me something in one word, one sentence, so that we can take the details of that. Do you think we are already in the move towards being more human? Yes, Jay?
Well, I completely agree with the statement, and I feel like it is true. Becoming more human means we'll be more successful. Yes.
Because there are three cases of you wearing a mask or taking care of yourself. One is for yourself. One is for others. You are required to wear mask, take vaccination, take care of yourself, not only for yourself. You have to do this for the sake of the others. Understand? So, we are forced to think of others more than any other time in the history of our life. Anybody else has a reaction to this? We are forced, or we are to move towards being more human. Anybody else has anything to say? Or you just agree with that? Okay, you all just agree with that. Actually, this book, I think I bought it in 2018 and read. It's not a very old book. This author, Daniel Pink, is a very, very intellectual person. And right now, we have a program called Books Courses, and your Samya ma'am is discussing this book with the people. Daniel Pink predicts that there will be a move towards making use of our right side of the brain. All this while, we have been left side oriented. Technology, physical things, all are logic based. Since the whole world has moved up in let's say, being provided for life, being safe, we are not saving ourselves from tigers and elephants at night. We have moved into a human group where safety is assured, even life is assured in most of the countries. You don't need to worry. You can have a life of just eating, living, and sleeping. You don't need to do anything. We have come to that level. And when something happens to some human beings, the whole world is gearing up to helping that person. The best example I would like to quote is the Thailand cave situation. How the whole world helped to bring those people out. None of them lost their lives, but a person who was trying to help them lost his life. To that extent, now we are ready. Politically, there is an arrangement to protect any country. So all the physical things which are managed by our left-hand side of the brain is more or less taken care. Now, Daniel Pink is bringing out qualities that we need for the future. Whether you like it or not, it's going to be like that because we see the world moving towards that. First and foremost, he said there are 6 points he makes. He calls it 6 senses. The first one he talks about is design. We talk of design thinking, the same design. I don't want to talk more about it. The second point is story. Persuasion, communication, and self-understanding are important. That's what he talks about story. Persuasion. We are not going to order. I'm sure you'd agree with me, none of your parents can order you today. Do you agree with me? They all request you, convince you, cajole you. Like when I was a boy like you, there is no question of persuasion. There is no question of requesting you. Beta, if you can do that, I would be happy. There was no sentence like that. What I went through was, if I felt my parents wanted that, that was an order on me. If they expressed it in words, there is no question of going this side or that side. But now you are being persuaded. So that's going to be the world, persuasion. Self-understanding. You have to understand your strength. And of course, communication, I think you all are very clear about it. And then next point he talks about is symphony. Under symphony, he says, the greatest demand today isn't analysis, but synthesis. How you combine things rather than take them apart and understand. No analysis, but synthesis. Seeing the big picture, like Ushnish talked about our economy or the world economy. That's what is going to be important. Seeing the big picture and then gearing up towards that. Crossing boundaries. Already we say the whole world has become one. And being able to combine disparate pieces into an arresting new whole. We have to create a new world. And the new world is going to be created by you people. So keep thinking. Any question about these three or any remark? Because I was very impressed from the time I studied this. He's got a lot of reasons to bring out these 6 points. And a person who does research will always think of 100 years ahead. Anybody with any question? We talked of symphony. We talked of story. We talked of design. See, these are all not unknown. They're all not alien, but we need to make it more part of our thinking. Okay, let me complete the next 3. Maybe you all will have something to say about it. The fourth one is, again, we are talking of this part of our 20th or 21st century skills. Empathy. What you understand of the other human beings, not only yourself. That's very important. And the next one is play. Actually, I will come back to play because there's a lot to do with education. And the last one is making meaning. You have to make meaning of every phenomenon, every incident, every activity. So we have empathy, play, and meaning. Anything, because this book called A Whole New Mind is being discussed right now. Anybody would like to say anything about these 6 points? Any one other point you like? You can ask questions, you may not agree, but you have to tell me why you don't agree. I, for one, who totally agrees with that. I've been thinking, if you remember, we introduced a design thinking competition. That's only very recent. Maybe because of this book, I don't know. Nobody wants to say anything? Are you surprised? Yes, Medha.
So I wasn't clear on the concept of play. What does that mean? Like,
Okay. I said I will come back to it. Other than play, anybody else anything? I'll say something more about play. We'll discuss.
So I think design and empathy, they both go like very hand in hand. So I think those two as concepts are very, important in today's world. So yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
So even I agree with most of the points, and I feel like some of the points, when we hear them right now, we may think it's really, really obvious. But had it not been for this book, or like having not heard of it, we probably wouldn't have even thought of it. So like, yeah, but I completely agree.
Okay. Yeah, anybody else? Or we'll go back to play. Because you're a children still studying, the word play is very important. I had a chance to present the concept of play, passion, and purpose as the sequence of education in a world conference in Sydney. That is part of the gifted education program. And what is play, what is passion, and what is purpose? You know, you can recollect, or you may be seeing children, they simply play. Do they have an idea in their mind? No. Wherever they are, whatever they have, they play with that. If you ask them, what do you get out of this? They'll say, no, we just want to play. That's how your brain is made. You're simply interested in exploring. That's why we call it exploration mode, where playing is the most important element of learning. LKG, UKG, you go, first day they start teaching ABCD. That is not education. This play feeds your brain with a lot of ideas, lot of questions, and lot of ability to solve them. Einstein, in fact, said, if you can carry on with this idea of play throughout your life, you will do phenomenal things. All your creativity comes only from play. You play in your mind. If you start only trying to answer questions for examinations, play is thrown out of the window. Then you're not a human being. You become a machine. So keep up this idea of play in your mind and just see when you want to do something that is most interesting to you, what do? You play. You play with ideas, you play with things, or you play with maybe an apparatus or a thing like a ball. All plays are the same. There is no specific purpose to play, but it has got a lot of utility value to your brain. After play comes passion. This is my kind of learning. From play, you start learning, and then at some time, you're very passionate. Maybe when you were in 6th or 7th, you all had an idea. I'll find a solution for this. I'll find a solution for this. I'll create something new. Everybody becomes passionate around the age of 11 or 12. See, from play, you add passion. But many of you don't continue with this, you change. Because you want to become a doctor, or you want to become an engineer, or you want to become a lawyer, your passion almost dies down. Which should not. The next one is when you have taken up things to study depending on your interest or passion, you suddenly realize, why am I running like this? Is it a race, or is there a meaning? Then you understand the purpose. You're all between play and purpose. The idea of a purpose will come to your mind when you are in 20s. They say around 24, you normally finish your studies and take up a job. Once you take up a job where you want to earn some money, then you will think of the purpose. Now you are between passion and a bit of play left in you. I'll give you some examples for passion. I know children who said they would find a solution for cancer, and I know that child has taken up medicine and the child is working on that. A year come. So like that, you have your passion directing your life. If that's the case, you'll never find it difficult, or you'll never find it boring. You'll always find it interesting. Like, look at the scientists. Do you mean to say they're all taken care for the work they do? They work very hard. Sometimes they work 24 hours. They don't sleep. They enjoy that. That is their passion. You have to put in that in the coming years, because you are not going to have jobs where you can do maybe 8 to 6 and then be happy with your life. No. You have to do something that will keep you engaged, and it will not make you get worried or bored. Oh my God, every day I have to go do this. My boss says this. My leader says this. No. If you have the passion to do what you're doing, your boss will be very happy with you. You will be his boss, because he'll listen to you, whatever you say. You learn from your boss, so life will be happy. Of course, purpose, that's where we are human beings. You will start thinking about your parents, your children, your relatives, and the world. That's where the purpose comes. Okay, now I need all of you to come out with your idea of life, because this is a time you start thinking about it. You start asking you questions. What is my passion? Where will I do my best? They will be more or less the same. Somebody is very keen on, let's say, flora and fauna. If they become a clerk in a bank, I don't think life will be interesting. They have to design their life around their interest. That's what I'm saying. It's time now that you can do. Sometime back, it was not possible. Okay? Today, you can eke out a living doing almost anything. Anything. I was reading somebody was making hundreds of pounds every day only standing in the line. That is not a passion. I don't think he was very happy to go and stand in a line and get some money end of the day. No. But you have to contribute. You have to create. Okay? What do you say? What does your brain say? And all these things which I'm talking about involves more of the right-hand side. And I would dare say, if your right-hand side of the brain demands you to do something, your left-hand side of the brain, that the logical brain, will play up to it. That's no issue. Okay. If you're all just keeping quiet, I'm not. Yes, Shreya. I'm not telling a story. Yes, Shreya, go ahead.
Sir, so it may seem like I'm going on the conventional path because I plan to pursue engineering, but the main reason is actually I want to pursue electrical engineering, computer science. So actually, I read about a blackout in New York in 2000, which happened in, I think, in 2005 or 6, where there was one fault in the whole power grid in the whole city, just shut down for, I think, a week. So then I learned from my father that a lot of things in the power grid are done manually. So this is just an idea in my head where I probably want to create a more automated power grid in the future. And that was my idea until like few weeks back, because like I read an article in which Tata is creating a smart grid, which does exactly that and is probably way more ambitious than what I was thinking. But power grids are also more prone to invasion. So I was thinking now I could add another feature of security into the power grid. So yeah, that's my goal, my goal for now. That's why I'm taking up electrical engineering in college as a major.
You're not, you see, just because a lot of people take up engineering, if you also take up, it doesn't mean that you are going down the beaten path. No.
Yeah.
What you want to do is the question.
Yeah.
See, you are kind of watching your design ideas. You know, it doesn't mean that you should not do that. That is a dream. Go ahead. There's nothing wrong. I don't think we should be fighting shy of anything if we want to do. You're contributing to the world, and you're going to be happy with that. Okay? Yes, Ushnish.
So yes, so my ambition is mostly pursuing astronomy or cosmology, something like that. Mostly because there's so many vast opportunities and unknowns there. So it's such a vast field that we can probably do a lot of things with it, and there's so much development left on that. So I think it's a very intriguing thing. And from my point of play and purpose, I think not everything has to be for a purpose. Even if it's not something what we end up doing, it's not something we end up pursuing in the future, what we like. I think having that curiosity and intrigue for the what we love will keep us going forward all the time. And I think that's a very important thing, because unless we have some sort of curiosity in our life, we are not really living a proper humanly life, because unless we do something we like, I mean, what are we living for then? So that's my take on that.
You are
So
quite
personally-
fine. In fact, Ushnish, curiosity is the basis of our learning. If you remove curiosity from our brain as a child, you would have learned nothing. You would have learned nothing. So curiosity is the basis, and it survives throughout our life. Okay, good. Now, Sunny has a very nice thing about reaching the stars. Say, you want to say anything about what Sunny said? You didn't see his comments?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's exactly why it interests me, because I can contribute a lot to it. It's true, because most of the population is dependent on it for basic tasks.
And the word contribution is nothing but putting purpose in a different way.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Because I want you to open your mind and talk. We want to give you an opportunity to think and talk. It is not that I am going to keep telling you I am not interested in lecturing. And this program is not for that. This program is to know you, make you return the focus on you, not only today, from now on. Yes. Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm a little bit more passionate about. I'm passionate about a lot of things. Like, I really enjoy like watching and playing basketball, and I love learning about the human body. I like learning about law, but I feel like I'm more interested in space as a whole. So yeah, I feel like that's where my passion is, and I feel like I've always been interested in that since I was a little kid. And I got like books.
It will be very interesting, Jay, if you can combine all this and come out with something. You know?
Yeah, but
you don't need to leave anything.
Like, because like basketball and space have almost nothing in common.
See, one may start at the realm of play, and it may go up to the realm of purpose, and that is life. Okay? So if you say law, that may tend towards purpose. If you say basketball, that may start with play. But basketball is not just play. There are a lot more of things. Okay? Yes, I think Tanvi raised her hand.
So I don't know what I'm like passionate about yet, I think, but I still have to discover that. But I think I know what things I like. And I think as of now, I like math and bio. And even in math, like the part of math I like is the logical part of it. Like just the process of thinking and thinking of how to approach the problem. I think that's the part of math I like. So I want to combine the two, math and bio. And I think in like right now scenario, it would be a very interesting field to work in, like after the pandemic. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, see, whatever comes to your mind can be designed into a purpose. There's nothing wrong. And if you say you don't know what you are passionate about yet, there's nothing wrong. But you have got your interests. If you follow your interests, you'll find your passion coming out or manifesting sometime. That's what you need to work on. Okay? Yes, Meda.
Yes, sir. So when I was younger, I really enjoyed like cutting and sticking papers, making magazines and all of that. So I think that would come under my play, like using beads and, creating stuff. And right now I'm preparing for design. So I think my play has turned into my passion. So I think that's really great. And hopefully that would also become my purpose. Because right now, and I really related to what you said about that race, and right now you are so motivated and everything. Because right now I'm in the phase of applying to colleges, and unless you want to be the first, you're not going to get into the top college and everything like that. So I think that race point really, connected with me. But yeah, I think you can have a relationship between your play, passion, and purpose.
There is an automatic relations. And what I was trying to say was, it is a progression we are looking at. You don't start with a passion first. You start with a play. That's what your life starts with. As a child, as a baby, you are playing with everything. Then slowly you find some area more interesting. That's where your passion develops. And then you make it a kind of vocation or a business or a profession. That's where your purpose comes. And I did not discover this. I only put it through reading quite a few books. So I said, this is the way it goes. So it is not my discovery. I did not do the research, but I find it very interesting. Like somebody else said, it was play that something called wheel came into existence. You should start playing a wheel, but it is a passion and purpose that brought a car. Somebody said, wheel, what can I do? He put 4 wheels together, and today we have got something called cars and so many things, locomotives. So you see the progression of play and passion and purpose. Yeah. Anybody else? I don't need to call your name. You should come out.
Yeah.
Yes, Monil.
Yeah, I've always had a passion for tennis, like since I was small. At first, I played a lot of sports, but tennis was the only one which I really stick to, and I want to do something sports related in the future, like something like sports management. Yeah.
And in a country like ours, Monil, you have got chances and chances and chances, because we have not reached that level. We have not even reached the level of extending tennis to all the children. It's very limited people play. If you take it up as your passion, you can manage tennis and manage in such a way that it is meaningful for others. That's what it means. It will be one. See, there is no area which is saturated. Let me ask a question. People talk of employment. Okay. Have you come across any person who is capable being unemployed? No. It is those who are not capable, but they want employment. And they don't accept the employment they get. And in a country like ours, we do post-graduation, MTech, MSc, MA. We think a job should come equivalent to another person who has done a post-graduation and being a general manager or a CEO. That's the problem. We don't have capable people enough. We don't have imaginative people enough. So it's to be fulfilled by all of you. Okay? So this idea of unemployment has to be changed. Like our Narayan Murthy says, only 20% of people are employable. So 80% are not employable when they come out of engineering college. That's what he says. So if you are one of the 80%, you can't blame. And unfortunately, we have got 80% of people doing 4 years of engineering and then coming out and saying, I'm not getting a job. Okay? Yeah. Anybody about this? Because you need to keep thinking about this passion and purpose and what is your mind playing with. Try to do this metacognitive work and see what your mind is interested in playing with. Like Monil said, tennis. Jay said, basketball. Somebody else said something else. Sometimes a problem can occupy your mind. You'll be playing with that problem. Sometimes just what interests you will become a passion. Yeah, we have got another 10 minutes. I'd like to listen to you. If you have a chance to find the person you want to ask this question, maybe somebody wants to ask a question to Einstein, somebody wants to ask a question to our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, or somebody wants to ask a question to somebody, live or dead. What would be your question? We are just playing, but it has got a lot of meaning. You may not be able to come out with a question instantly, but I'm sure you'll have hundreds. But we want to see maybe one right now, because that will keep me thinking. Yes, Jay?
Sir, as you know, Newton is insane. Like, I mean, he's part of so many fields of physics. I mean, he's contributed to almost every field of physics, even some in chemistry. And I would like to ask him what drives him to do so much, and like when so much is not discovered, how do you think of such new things?
Okay. But please don't expect any answer from me. Far from it. It's a nice question. Yes. Shreya.
So even my question's similar. Actually, most of the inventions or like the innovations are driven by problems that people see around them, right? Like even my passion for the electrical came from a problem which took place in 2006. So I actually wanted to ask Mark Zuckerberg, and this was one of my questions, like what was the thing that inspired him to make something like Facebook? Like where did he get that idea from? It's very, very different and it's very creative, but like where did he get inspired from exactly? From a problem or like something else?
Maybe you'll get somewhere to post this question to him. You still have a chance to get an answer. Okay? Yeah. Anybody else? I'm sure you all would have a question at least now. Yes, Ushnish.
So I would ask actually anybody who has done anything great in their life. So I'm sure every person who has achieved a lot has also faced a lot of roadblocks and problems. I want to ask them about what is exactly that keeps them going. How do they overcome these obstacles in their lives, and what motivates to continuously tread forward despite all these obstacles and difficulties?
Cutting the thread forward. Yes. All of you can answer. The whole world needs to answer, Ushnish. You keep asking. First, keep asking yourself. Okay. Do you have an answer for that? What keeps you going?
I guess more or less having a final goal. I think that's what is the most important. But there's so many other factors also. I mean, there has to be a point where you reach your limit, and how do you overcome that limit is what I find difficult to comprehend.
Okay. You'll keep getting more and more answers as you grow. See, experience is something which is phenomenal in life. Yes. Anybody else? Yes, Tanvi?
Actually, I have a question for you. So, like, ever since I was small, like in here, in the end of the assembly, you would come every day and you would talk about something, and it was always a different topic, and like you would talk about like very, very different kind of things, like music or sports or anything. And even if anyone asked you a question, you always had an interest in that particular topic or subject. So, how do you have such a wide range of like interests and you know so much? Like, is it through experience or have you read a lot? Or I think it's really nice to have like that quality.
Tanvi, I think you may not believe when I look at children like you, my brain works in a different way, and I can't explain that. When I interact with children, my brain comes out with ideas. And of course, I read, I travel, I meet people, I discuss. If I meet an automobile engineer, I talk a lot about that. If I meet somebody who is in sports, I talk a lot about that. And people say if I start talking, I don't stop. So it comes to you Because of two reasons. One, your interest, and then you also have to plan yourself. I talk to people to know. See, if I meet an automobile engineer, he's the best person to tell me a lot of things. If I talk to him about what food he likes and things like that, what's the point? So it's a question of gathering your, I can't say wisdom, gathering ideas and putting them together is wisdom. And I believe when I interact with children, I get inspired, I get ideas. And that keeps accumulating. It is cumulative. It doesn't mean it is in pieces. One influences the other and you become wise. Okay? So you don't need to worry about it, Tanvi. You are too young for that, but keep your interest up. Yeah. I thought, yeah, Medha.
Yes, sir. I don't know if this is a very common question, but I think I'd want to ask Malala where she got the courage from, like how she was so like brave enough to, go against what her society told her, and what she grew up with, how she became like that rebellious.
Okay, keep the question going on in your mind. Maybe you can find answers yourself. See, suppose you don't have a person or you don't have that person to answer you, you keep thinking of the answer. Suppose I want to ask a question to Einstein. Einstein is not there. But I can keep thinking, what would have been the answer of Einstein? Okay. Yeah. Have you finished the round? I don't think so. I want all of you to respond to this quickly.
I think I would ask any top athlete how they've conquered their fears and how they manage to keep going every day, like give their 100% even with all the obstacles they face, like travel and the competition, the burnout. Because I think once you conquer your mind, it's much easier to conquer your goals also.
Manil, I think your question would be very ideal to be posted to Roger Federer, because I consider him to be one of the greatest tennis players.
But I think any athlete, I think it would work. Any athlete who has achieved.
If you are interested in tennis, I say Federer because you take any aspect of an athlete. I don't think we know the problems he faced. I don't think we know the kind of rigor he went through. Maybe now he's a bit relaxed. But the tennis players, how they are treated by their coaches, you can't imagine. The coaches, you give the freedom to treat you like a slave. Then only you can do something. Good question. Yes. Anybody who has not come out with a question, because time is running out, we have got only 1 minute. Okay. As the last round, you can say whatever you want to say or ask. With that, we'll finish. Any question, any comment, anything you want to say. If you have something in your mind, you can always say. Oh, I see a lot of silence. Yes, Annie.
I just typed it in.
Okay, you typed it in. You want to say something?
No, I was just want to share that the questions everyone asking about who they want to ask. I think that's a great first step to identify what they want to know and from whom. Since they have that clarity, the next step would be to go and seek out the answer, because most of the questions everyone's asked has already been asked before, has already been written about before by the same person or might be someone similar. So go out and seek, and that's the beauty of being in today's world, that information is available to us at our fingertips. It's not like before that you had to search out only in a book, but not only do you have people who have written books, but now you have blogs, you have articles, you have interviews, all kinds of medium. So just seek the answers you want.
Yeah. What Sunny says is, you seek, you'll get. And what I'm saying is, you seek, you'll get, but seek it within yourself first. All right? Yeah, I think it was very interesting to have talked to all of you. And never ever hesitate to come out with a question. Find some way of asking that. Maybe within the school or maybe outside the school. The whole world is available to you. And all the best. Get prepared and then do well in the exam. Over to Sudeshna ma'am.
So I think it's time for us to wind up the session. I would really like to thank Chairman Sir for initiating such wonderful conversations, and of course to our participants for letting us know about their passion, and wonderfully they have also put out their thoughts together and shared with us. So big thanks to all of you and all our audience, and a special mention to our media team, Abha and Dhruva Jyoti of grade 11 for putting the report together, and Sarve sir, Nandini ma'am, Nebu sir for all of your support. So thank you.